Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ follower's perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind.
There were undoubtedly many nice slaveholders in the South.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's KD Smooth coming back at you with a new report. I pray you all are doing well. Shalom, family. Family, today's report is going to be covering this issue on your screen. The issue of how Kyrie, Irvin, and all professional athletes are slaves on sports owners' plantations. I know some of y'all already gonna wait, hold up, they making crazy money, woody woody woo. I know some of y'all already saying it, but stay with me. I'm gonna break this down to you. I'm literally going to show you the mindset of professional sports team owners and many people out there, especially, unfortunately, a large percent of our white brothers and sisters. So to my white listeners, stay with me. I want to show you the truth. I'm going to reveal it to you. And after this report, there will be no doubt left in your mind in regards to whether or not the mindset and approach to life of a slave master versus a regular human being is a problem. There's not going to be no doubt left, okay? Because I know some of y'all are still struggling with this. But stay with me. At the very least, you will be entertained, and whether you agree or not, you will have no excuse left when I'm done with you today. So, before we get started, as usual, family, hit the like button, Share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we try to bring you the information and facts you need. All right, let's get into this, family. To begin, the first thing I need you to understand is a couple of basic concepts, okay? Here they are. First off, slavery never ended here in the U.S. and many other places. It never ended. I'm going to show you. I know what you're saying. Stay with me. I'm going to show you, okay? Also, the concept of what contracts are, okay? Contracts are legally required to be agreed to and mutually beneficial. Once a contract is no longer mutually beneficial and agreed to, all contractual parties have a legal right to end the contract or allow the contract to expire. One more time. Contracts are legally required to be agreed to and mutually beneficial. Once no longer mutually beneficial and agreed to, all parties have legal right to end the contract or allow the contract to expire. It doesn't matter what kind of contract it is. It could be an employment contract, a business contract, whatever kind of contract you want to come up with. Okay? These are the legal rules. Let's continue. In addition, you must understand that most contracts are based on leverage and written from a top-down perspective or leverage perspective. The party with the most leverage has the least restrictions and requirements written in the contract. So, right off top, whatever contract you are signing, or at least the majority of them, whether they be business contracts, employment contracts, and many others, just off the top, most contracts are based on leverage. The party offering or requiring the contract for you to do business or be employed or whatever the case may be, the party offering the contract has leverage over you. You're the one signing the contract. The other party has leverage because they're requiring you to sign the contract. Okay? Now, let's continue. With that understood, here's the last point that I need you to comprehend. Your body, time, labor, skills, and speech, in addition to your creativity and intelligence, and all that you produce, is your asset, not theirs, or not the property of the contractual party that has the leverage. Okay? It's your leverage. Your body, your time, your labor, skill, speech, creativity, intelligence, and all you produce is your leverage or your asset. It belongs to you. In every contract form that you may sign. Okay? All right. So, with these concepts, what you have to understand, there's a couple of things that have just occurred recently. As you see, our brother Kyrie is on the screen. Also, our brother Kanye. Now, right off the top, I'm not overly supportive or a big fan of Kanye, especially a lot of the suspect things that he's stated over the last 6 months or so, or really for quite some time. Mainly as far as Kanye, I think the brother is mostly misunderstood, and I think he also struggles with properly expressing himself. I think he struggles there. But then again, he may be standing 100 on what the stuff that he said and the way he said them. So, hey, I don't know the brother personally, but that's the only benefit of doubt that I could give him, is that he struggles expressing himself fully in a manner to be understood properly. But in any event, there's some significant things that have happened here just in the last week. Some news and information comes out with our brother Kanye. You see the headline on your screen. Adidas has finally admitted that dropping Kanye could cost it more than $1 billion in sales. Why? Because many people are not buying Yeezy's products and shoes from Adidas anymore. That's basically a somewhat of a boycott. So Adidas is sitting on all this stock of Yeezy products, and it's not really selling anymore. And based on this headline, the mistake that Adidas made when they dropped Kanye was, it was more so punishment for some of the things that he had said and stated, things of that nature. They was like, oh, we can't do business with him. And Kanye was like, what y'all mean? I am y'all business. And Adidas was like, no, you're not. We got our own company. We're going to do what we want to do. And they told Yee, bye. It was like, see you. Wouldn't want to be you. Right? And Ye was like, well, all right then. All right. And all the media, the mainstream media came out that's just bashing Kanye. Whether you agree or disagree with what he said, that's not the issue. They just went on a full attack campaign on Kanye. But now, you see the headline on your screen, just came out February 10th. Adidas basically is admitting that dropping Ye is going to cost them approximately $1 billion in sales. And their stock price, the Adidas stock price, has took a nosedive and plummeted in its value because they're not bringing in the revenue. Oh my God. The revenue is not happening right now. Because again, nobody or most people are not buying Ye's or the Yeezy product line products from Adidas anymore. And trust me, Adidas don't know what they're going to do, y'all. They ain't got a clue. They running around scratching the walls, climbing the walls, trying to figure this out. Okay, so it kind of is what it is. So basically what Adidas has learned is, as Ye correctly stated, I am your money. I am your sales. I am, the volume of business, the volume of sales that Adidas is doing, for the most part, is because of me. Not Adidas. It's because of me, my name, my reputation. Not Adidas's. So y'all want to go ahead and drop me? Cool. Let's see how that works out for you. And now you're seeing it on your screen. Okay? So as I stated previously, your body, your time, your labor, skills, speech, creativity, and intelligence, and all you produce is your asset. And in this example is Ye's asset, not Adidas's. Do you see what? Did you catch me there? Okay. So Adidas is learning that the hard way. Okay? In addition, on the right side of your screen with Kyrie. Well, the NBA, the mainstream media, the NBA media sellouts, they've been dogging Kyrie for a long time, right? And they've had a problem, and, you know, he's not a team player, woody, woo, all this going on, and have blamed Kyrie for every bad thing that's happened in Brooklyn up until this recent trade that has gone down, right? And so mainstream media, again, has been going crazy blaming and trashing Kyrie, right? But many people know, and many people are starting to discover, that when you look at the situation or all of the stuff that happened in Brooklyn with Kyrie and now KD, is it really Kyrie's and KD's fault, or is there something else at play here? Because now many are looking at the situation from a different perspective, and that is, when you're the owner of a business or the general manager of a business, being this an NBA team, your job is to manage that team and the players on that team. That's your job, to successfully manage your team. Just like it is with a coach on a team. The coach's job is to learn his team members, his players, learn their personalities, their strengths and weaknesses, and manage them to be successful and coach them to wins. That's the coach's job. Okay? So whenever you get done with it, being that the Brooklyn Nets team has completely exploded and Kyrie and KD have been traded, they both requested trades and they both have recently been traded, that literally means that the team and its players were not successfully managed by the general manager and the owner. And you might want to throw in the coach, but not so fast on that. Because if you recall, when Jacques Vaughn took over coaching, and he had Kyrie and KD there, Brooklyn went on an immediate 22-7 win streak. And Jacques Vaughn was awarded Coach of the Month in Brooklyn in December, for the month of December back in 2022. So they was winning fine once Jacques Vaughn got there, which actually speaks to what was going on with Steve Nash. Yeah. For those that don't know, Steve Nash was not a coach. He had never coached before. And I just explained to you what a coach's job is. It's to learn and manage players and their personalities, their strengths and weaknesses, to coach the team to literal victories. More victories than losses. That's the coach's job. But Brooklyn was losing like crazy when Steve Nash was a coach, and then when Jacques Vaughn was given that title, all of a sudden, Brooklyn went on a win streak. Better coach. That's just cut and dry. So the coaching in Brooklyn, once Jacques Vaughn took over, that was no longer a problem. So then why did the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie and KD, why did they ultimately demand trades. If they're literally winning and in position to do well in the playoffs, they're doing great. So why just blow it up? Why did Kyrie and KD, what was the problem? The answer is we'll probably never know with full certainty what the problems were in Brooklyn, because all parties involved are going to attempt to be as professional with their comments going forward. But there was some jacked up stuff going on in Brooklyn. Okay? There was a whole lot of disrespect going on in Brooklyn. Let's be clear. I can't tell you specifically what it was, but I can tell you it was happening. Okay? Just a sheer based on the trade demands by Kyrie and KD. They was like, nah, we done. We out. See ya. Wouldn't want to be. Okay? Even on Twitter and places as you see on the screen, people are commenting, congrats to Joe Tsai. You showed him, buddy. You're like, really? You did such a poor job. And this is the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. You lost both your top stars to trade requests or trade demands. How you do that? We're going to talk about that here a little bit. We're going to go into a little bit more detail. And here with this report today, stay with me, family. I'm going to show you how this is a far, far deeper issue than just what, of course, your mainstream media and most people are discussing out here in these media and social media streets. Okay, I'm going to show you this goes very deep. Okay, all right. So, real quick, I'm going to share a video clip with you, family, that it comes from this show, this Michael Clay show. Okay, it's kind of a sports commentary show, but this show and this commentator here is going to express, in my opinion, here at One Brothas Mind, the exact mindset and sentiment of pretty much all professional sports team owners. Okay? He gonna lay it out on the line. Now, the owners, most of them are not really gonna say it like he says it here publicly, but this is how they get out. Okay? And this fool, Lord have mercy, y'all see here in just a moment. He literally has zero idea of the true meaning behind what he is saying. So he just babbling, right? And he is exposing, or he and the other commentators on this show are completely exposing themselves. But I'm not going to get into more detail. I want you to hear it for yourself, okay? And I want you to focus on this commentator, this one that's on your screen right now, his last probably 2 or 3 sentences, the most. Focus there the most. I mean, listen to all of it, but focus there the most on this guy's last 2 or 3 sentences, and then we're going to come back and we're going to chop it up after that. Here we go.
This 5-year period will be a laughingstock in all of sports history when they look at what the Nets did and the quality of the players that they brought in, and now they have nothing. They let 2 guys completely demolish 5 years of their existence. Think about it. 2 guys. And I think the biggest laughingstock in all of this, and I've been listening to all the shows today, and this has not come up. The biggest laughingstock to me is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was led by his nose by Kyrie Irving, who completely, single-handedly demolished the Brooklyn Nets and everything they stand for. And Kevin Durant went along for the ride like a little lamb when he could have stayed in Golden State and picked up, we know, at least one more championship, probably 2 or 3, and his reason for coming to Brooklyn, he and Kyrie wanted to do something special together. Well, you know what? He wanted to go to Phoenix, and now he's going to join another team with a lot of stars. And he left the team with better stars and better players to do something that never happened, and Kyrie Irving made him look like a complete fool. A complete fool. He might win a championship in Phoenix, but what happened? 5 years of his career, one because of an injury, the other 4 years completely wiped away because he followed a guy down the primrose path. And what did that guy do? The guy did nothing but really submarine everything that the Nets tried to do, including the Harden situation. The reason Harden demanded a trade was because of Kyrie Irving. And you know what? Kevin Durant stood back and let it happen. He was so docile throughout all of this. He never said anything publicly. And the second they traded Kyrie, he obviously told Nets management, I want to go as well. Laughing stock. Laughing stock. He's a laughing stock. And the Nets, where the way this was mishandled, and I think they've recovered nicely, guys, because I don't think it's a terrible trade that they made with Phoenix, but they have no chance to win a championship, and they probably won't have a chance to win a championship until they take some of the draft picks they got and trade for a big-time player, which is where it starts all over again 5 years ago. It's stunning. It will be studied in classes in all sports on what not to do and how not to give the players that much power when you already acquire them.
Now, did they get it wrong?
Okay. Real quick, family, did you hear the last couple sentences that this guy said? I'm going to replay it just to be sure that you heard what he said. Okay, here we go.
Studied in classes in all sports on what not to do and how not to give the players that much power when you already acquire them.
How not to give the players that much power when you acquire them. Let that sink in, family. Repeat that over and over in your head. What he's referring to is the power to request and demand trades to get out of their contract and to go play ball somewhere else. That's what he's referring to. Because let me let it play a little bit more so nobody can say I've taken what he's saying out of context. Okay, here we go.
Player, which is where it starts all over again 5 years ago. It's stunning. It will be studied in classes in all sports on what not to do and how not to give the players that much power when you already acquire them.
Now, did they get it wrong trying to build the super team?
No.
Or did they just get the wrong players?
I think they got the wrong players.
I think they just got the wrong players. Now, listen, you want to do it the right way, whatever the right way may be, but it just seems like you draft well, you make shrewd trades, and you build a championship team. You try to take the easy way out, and you usually get slapped. But the thing that keeps circling back to is that they just got the wrong players. You know, Kyrie's an issue. And KD, it's just, I don't know if I can come up with another comparable. This is one of the top 5 players in the NBA. This is one of the greats of all time. And he's being led by a lesser player.
And
Kyrie's a great player. He's not KD. So, I don't understand how you're not the alpha male in the relationship. You're not the alpha male on the team. People should be wanting to play with Kevin Durant, following him around. Instead, he seems to follow everybody else. I'll go to Golden State and I'll win. Oh, I'll go hitch my wagon to Kyrie. Never, at least publicly, never criticized the guy. Never went public to say how he ruined your chances of winning a championship in Brooklyn. You know, and then slinks out to Phoenix, and we'll see how it ends up going from there. But God, what an alpha dog on the court, but just not much leadership or really any kind of resolve at all from Durant.
Really soft.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Okay, family. Do you see what they're doing? Do you see? So to be clear, you can't say that I took what this first commentator said out of context. Okay? Do you hear their anger? Do you hear their jealousy of the personal rights that, in this case, Kyrie and KD have, most NBA players have, to be able to request a trade or demand a trade to move themselves into a better playing situation? They're angry about that. They're jealous of it. They're furious. As he said, the players, and I'm paraphrasing here, should not have that much power. You cannot give, he said they're going to give classes on how not to give players that much power. Again, the power to decide where they're going to play or play out their contracts or whatever. That's the power that they're angry about. Is it sinking in yet? Okay. So, what you have to understand, family, is this is, let's see here, get straight. Again, this is what he said, how not to give players that much power when you acquire them. Yeah, y'all already saw it. This is the essence of Satan, of Ha-Satan. You just heard the essence of Ha-Satan speaking. That certain human beings, in this case, professional sports players, and more specifically, NBA players, should not have the ability and the right to choose and decide where they want to play, where they want to sign contracts, and if they have a signed contract and that environment, that situation goes bad, they no longer feel successful, or that they could be successful in that environment, they should not have the ability to be able to request or demand trades and find a new environment, a new team to play for. Why not? Ha-Satan? Yeah, this gonna be deep, y'all. Katie Smooth going deep on this one. So, you see, of course, they're attacking Kyrie. Most of the mainstream media and main sports media, that's what they've been doing for months. Attack Kyrie. And you also heard them attack KD's manhood. He's soft for wanting to play or so-called following Kyrie around. He's soft. He ain't a man. He should be the leader. It's the same stereotypic tactics that they always use to try to drive a wedge between black men. Okay? It's okay. So they're doing all this attacking of Kyrie and KD now. And this, trust me, you can go out and listen to a whole bunch of other sports media shows. It don't matter whether it's on ESPN or whatever network or whatever social media you're looking at. And you're going to hear basically this same perspective spewed. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what you didn't hear, or at least I'm going to remind you. You didn't hear the name of the general manager, Sean Marks, having done a bad job managing his team. And you didn't hear the name of the Brooklyn Nets owner, Joe Tsai, managing his team. You didn't hear those two names as doing a piss poor job, being unsuccessful at their job. They are not the problem. It's Kyrie and KD. That's the problem. Or that was the problem. Did you catch that? Kyrie and KD just want to show up and play ball, man, and try to win and be successful. They want to be in an environment where they have good coaching, where originally they didn't have that with Steve Nash. Nash was a problem. He couldn't coach. He had never coached before, so they were losing like crazy, trying to follow his direction. And again, as I mentioned before, as soon as Jacques Vaughn got in there as the coach, immediately everything flipped around. 9-day difference. Winning like crazy. Moved up to the 4th position in the Eastern Conference. Okay? But again, you didn't hear the name of Sean Marks, the general manager, or the owner, Joe Tsai, as being and doing horribly at their jobs. Yeah, let's continue. This is how the devil speaks, y'all. Okay? All right. So, again, his sentiment was about Kyrie and KD having too much power or freedom over themselves. You should see where I'm going with this by now. Somehow it's wrong for Kyrie and KD and we're gonna expand this in a moment, but pretty much anybody. But in this case, Kyrie and KD, is wrong for them to have some say or power in their own lives, where they play ball at. That's wrong. Only the Brooklyn Nets team and the owner should have that power and control. Let that sink in. Somebody else should have the power and control over the career and playing options for KD and Kyrie Irving. A team owner should control that. Now, keep in mind, historically, that's where we came from. That's where sports came from. It's only here recently in the last, say, 40, 50 years that, especially with the NBA, the rules and the union negotiations have changed things to give the players more say, more control over their contracts and where they play. This is pretty new, pretty recently. All of the other leagues are slowly dragging along, falling behind the NBA. The NBA players have it the best in this regard, okay, for all other sports. The other ones are slowly dragging behind, right? But they're angry at players having the ability to use leverage or collective leverage or having the legal right to end or allow their contracts to expire. That's what they're angry about. In other words, having say and control over their contracts, because most of us, we sign contracts every day. But legally, we have, or at least are supposed to have, the right to bargain and negotiate those contracts, use any leverage that we may have in that negotiation to get those contracts enduring. And then we also legally are supposed to have the right to end or allow the contracts to expire so we can move on. If we, that's our personal prerogative, right? Our legal personal prerogative. But they're angry and mad that Kyrie and KD had and utilized their personal legal power. Because if you don't have the power to make those decisions to end or allow a contract to expire, or you don't have the power to use your leverage, which is what primarily Kyrie and KD did. They used their leverage. It was like, okay, you either trade me or I'm just going to allow my contract to expire and I'm going to just walk out the door. And you're not going to get anything in return for me walking out the door. So your best bet is to trade me now, so you can actually get some things, some other players of value before I walk out the door. Okay? So because Kyrie and KD expressed that leverage power, these commentators and pretty much all of them that you're going to see around social media and definitely on mainstream media, they're all expressing the sentiment that I just shared with you. They're angry, they're mad, and they're all attacking KD and Kyrie all over the place. In fact, if you listen closely enough, you actually will hear jealousy in the anger that they're expressing. Why? Because this devil on your screen, as well as most of the other ones, social media and mainstream media, most of the other ones, they cannot do what Kyrie and KD can do. They don't know how to do it. Also, they can't do it on their own. Or they are too lazy to do it. Any of those options, you twist them up how you want. Kyrie and KD are doing something and can do something that this guy, none of the mainstream media talking head fools, and none of the social media talking head fools can do. So somehow they feel justified in trying to preach and dictate to Kyrie and KD what they should and should not do with their lives and their careers regarding the special thing or things that they can do on the basketball court that nobody else for the most part can do. The devils that can't do it, Kyrie and KD are supposed to listen to them. Right? Kyrie and KD are supposed to listen to those devils that can't do it, don't have a clue of how to do it, can't do it in their dreams. Right? But at the same time, they feel justified in having this control mindset. That's why they're angry at KD and Kyrie. They feel like the Brooklyn Nets and the owner and the GM should have had the control to prevent KD and Kyrie from demanding trades and getting traded. When you control someone's life and their career, I mean, to that degree, y'all see it on your screen. There's no other way to describe that, but that is a slave master's mindset. To have that much control where a human being has really no say in the direction of their lives, what kind of career they have, where they practice their career or do whatever it is that they do. To have someone else who can't do those things be in control of all of that for another person, that's called a slave master's mentality. Okay? Be clear on that. And that's what this devil is expressing, or these devils. All right? So, with that being said, family, one more note. A lot of the mainstream media pool, especially people like the devil Stephen A. Smith and others, they always attacking Kyrie about the ooh-wee situation. And here at One Brothas Mind family, we call the ooh-wee that thing that they try to force everybody to get during that predator situation that lasted about 2.5 years, that was taking everybody out, or took over 1 million people out here in the United States. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I still don't use those words here on One Brothas Mind because y'all know how it is out here in these YouTube streets. Mr. YouTube, man, be doing what he be doing. So the thing they try to force everybody to get here at One Brothas Mind, we call it the ooh-wee, and the overall problem, we call that the predator, okay? So they dog Kyrie out for refusing to get the ooh-wee, right? Refusing to get something foreign forced into his body. That's what they dogged him out for. As well as the whole problem, or really the main problem, was in New York, they passed a law that said that if you did not get the ooh-wee, in particular with Kyrie, that basketball players could not play with their team. He could play in other states because they didn't pass that law. But in New York, they made that law up out of thin air. And so Kyrie couldn't so-called legally play, even though they just made it magically. Bling! They just made it up. But somehow that made up law, magical law from Wonderland, that was Kyrie's fault. Do you see that? Again, other states across the country didn't have that law. So when the Nets traveled and had away games, Kyrie played and there was no problem. So why have the law in New York? Yeah, it wasn't for health reasons. It wasn't because that law didn't exist in other states. Because other states understood, at least on that point, that was not needed. That was not going to improve the health of anybody or really save anybody. Okay. The other thing they've, of course, been attacking our brother Kyrie on is his social media post where he didn't leave a comment. All he did was post a link to the documentary series Hebrews to Negroes, and they suspended him because the ADL came down with their satanic oppression, talking about posting a link to a documentary that is sold on Amazon's website somehow is anti-Semitic, right? And so the ADL and others pressured the owner, Joe Tsai, to come down hard on Kyrie and suspend him, make him apologize. Y'all remember they had a whole list of kiss butt things that they were trying to require Kyrie to do. Right? So because of the suspension and the problem with Kyrie not getting the ooh-wee and the law that he had nothing to do with that New York State passed that said he couldn't play, all of that was Kyrie's fault. All of that says that Kyrie is a bad teammate and a bad NBA player. You see the lies? So, with that being said, family, what I'm contending here at One Brothas Mind is this. What you've heard, these talking heads that I've shared with you, and what you're going to hear from most of the others, this is a slave master's mindset about owning and controlling other human beings, especially people that can do things you can't do, that do things that you don't know how to do things that they can't do on their own or are too lazy to do, controlling the people that can do all that stuff. That's a slave master's mindset, and it is satanic. In fact, here we go, y'all. It's actually the same mindset of systematic white supremacy. And real quick, this satanic mindset, this systematic white supremacy mindset, is attempting to own, steal, and control things that belong to, originated with, or were created or perfected by another person or group of people. Let me hit that one more time. Attempting to own, steal, control things that belong to, originated with, were created or perfected by another person or group of people. Attempting to do that or doing that is satanic. Do y'all see that? Because you're literally, use whatever word you want, you're stealing the value that belongs to someone else. Who gave you the right to steal the value that belongs to someone else? Yeah. Y'all see where this is going? No one. That's why it's satanic. They wouldn't stand for nobody stealing their value. But to this devil that I shared with you, these devils on this sports show, and most of the devils across mainstream media and social media out here, oh, this is just how things are supposed to be done. That's why it's called systematic white supremacy. Okay? Another reason why it's called systematic white supremacy, because this is basically the exact same mental foundation that Europeans used for colonization of pretty much the entire world. Let it set in your spirit. I'm gonna go back to it. Attempting to own, steal, or control things that belong to, originated with, were created or perfected by another person or group of people. Colonization. Oh, it goes deeper than this. It goes deeper than this. But at this time, family, smash the like button, share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind. because we try to provide you the information and facts you need. And at this time, we're going to have a quick, brief commercial, non-commercial break, and we will return in just a moment. Okay, we're back, family. So, once again, professional sports team owners, systematic white supremacy, and colonization all are of the same satanic slave master mindset and approach to life. Okay? But it gets deeper. Yeah, family. This is also the exact same mindset of the enemies of Yah's chosen people. Many of you already know what exactly defines the enemies of Yah's chosen people. Any person or groups that have or attempt to steal the birthright, the covenant relationship between Yah and Yah's chosen people, those of us that are from descendants of the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called black tribe, or it wasn't even lost, y'all. The black tribe of Judah descendants that were a part of the transatlantic slave trade. What is it that the enemies of Yah's chosen people ultimately have been attempting to do all throughout history here? It's actually steal, own, and control the birthright of Yah's chosen people. The key commonalities is to own, control, and steal value that belongs to someone else or a different group of people. Do you see that? That's the common principle through enemies of Yah's chosen people, colonization, sports team owners, all of them. That's the common theme and denominator. Okay? So, with that being said, what you have to understand as we were speaking in regards to contracts are written based on leverage most of the time. No matter what kind of contract you're dealing with, they're written based on leverage. And if you're the person signing the contract or the only person signing the contract, you're really in trouble. Because the writer of the contract has implemented a whole gang of restrictions and requirements for you who are signing the contract, but very few for them, if any at all. So you're basically making a deal with the devil in that type of contractual agreement. So it doesn't matter what kind, if it's a work contract or employment contract, a business contract with somebody. Here's a couple other ones for you. How about the contract for marriage? Yeah. Oh, I'm going there. Or even the unwritten contract of producing a child between a man and a woman. Because essentially, that becomes a contract shortly after the child is born in this satanic society, right? Oh yeah, I'm going there. So basically, family, anytime you have a contract that is unfair, unequal, in any way, it's satanic. It's literally a satanic deal. It doesn't matter whether it's an employment contract, a business contract, marriage contract, or even the unwritten contract of producing children. Because, like I said, when it's unequal, meaning one party has more ownership, control, and profit from the contract than the other party. That it's not equal. A contract that is totally equal is sure, okay, fine, no problem. Both parties are going to mutually profit and benefit from this equally. This is great. It's just like doing some work with somebody. If there's, I don't know, you gotta cut some grass or shovel some snow or whatever, you and another person. And as long as you both mutually are working the same pace and doing basically the same amount of work, everything's great. Everybody's happy. We're going to get this done soon. It's mutually beneficial. But I guarantee you, let you be sitting out there shoveling snow while the other person sitting up looking around, chilling, taking a whole bunch of extra breaks, not really helping shovel snow. You ain't going to be killing yourself shoveling snow for too long before you stop and go, hey, what are you doing? You better come on, shovel some of this snow. I'm not about to shovel all this by myself. In other words, what you are expressing is, at the current rate, this agreement we made to do this work, whatever the work is not equal right now. You're not operating or working at an equal pace and fashion. So it's basically making me do the majority of the work. It's unequal. That's satanic to any and everybody. I don't stand for that. But yet, most contracts here in the U.S. and in the world, that's literally what's happening. The producer of the contract, the job, the sports team, the company, whatever it is, they want you to agree to an unequal contract. And once you're in it, they don't even want you to have the right or the power, in this case, with Kyrie's and KD's contracts, to be able to say, no, I see what's happening here. No, brother, I done peeped your hustle. I'm good. I'm going out the door. I'm good. But as long as they have equal control, profit, and respect, sure, fine, no problem. Now, some of you are listening to go, okay, well, wait a minute. What about business contracts or other contracts that are set up to where I'm investing more than the other person? Or I'm like in the sports contract with Kyrie and KD. A lot of y'all sitting back going, well, wait, the owner's the one putting up all the money and paying for everything and paying them. So they should have more control. No. Can the owner cross people over like Kyrie? Can the owner score as many points as Kyrie and KD? Can the owner win the games like Kyrie and KD can win? No. So the owner's providing something that makes it work, and Kyrie and KD equally are providing something that the owner cannot provide that makes it work. So it's a mutual contract, mutual agreement that should be as close to equal as possible, especially in regards to control and power. Now, they got the stuff set up where the profit is not equal, because the owners keep most of the profit. But everybody, of course, as y'all know, they go after the players and how many millions of dollars the players is making. Somebody's paying the players all those millions of dollars. So if somebody can pay them, the players, that many millions of dollars, guess how many billions the person paying the players have? But most of y'all don't look at it like that. Okay? But again, if you're investing more into the contract, therefore you want more power, ownership, and control, that's satanic. Let me show you, as I already have. In employment contracts, you can write the employment contract up pretty much how you want, as long as it vaguely respects the state laws that your company is operating in. You can pretty much write it however you want, require pretty much whatever you want. And tell the new potential employee you only going to pay them the bare minimum. The companies do it every day. And there's people that, agree to it. Do they like it? No. Do they want more pay, more profit from the agreement? Absolutely. But because of the employment market, because of a lot of other factors, employers get away with it. So they put all the profit or majority of it in their pockets, and they pay the employees pennies on the dollar. Same thing with business contracts. If you set up a business contract to go into business with anyone else, pick a business, you fill in the blank. If both of you and the other party are investing equally, even if your investments are different items, but you're investing equally, if somebody's financing the deal and then you're doing the majority or all of the labor, that's an equal investment. It doesn't have to be exactly the same investment for it to be an equal contract and a mutually beneficial and profitable for both parties. But most people have the satanic view that if I'm investing more money, say if I'm investing more money than you, then I deserve more profit, more control, more say-so than you, because I'm investing the money. Even though you're doing and investing a whole lot of other stuff that I may not be investing. I'm the money man, so that's just how I work. No, that's satanic, family, because that's unequal. That's disrespectful to the other parties involved with the contract. Okay, some of y'all still struggling, so let me hit you with this one. you have the same problem in many people's marriages, in their marriage contract. It's real popular right now out here. I'm going to digress for just a minute, family. Stay with me. It's real popular out here in these social media streets. The idea that a lot of men are pushing out that if a man is so-called a high-value man, if he's a man making six figures and he's bringing that to the table, that if he decides to marry the average woman out here in the streets, then because he's bringing more financial resources to the table, enough to where she doesn't have to work or really pay much of nothing, then that should give him the right to have some side pieces on the side because he's investing more. Even though the woman that he's marrying, she's going to be the caregiver, full-time caregiver for their children. She's going to take care of the house and him and her husband full-time. Somehow the man's mindset is her investment is not equal to his. That's satanic, family. You got people that have been pushing that out there like Kevin Samuels and many others. That's satanic. And most sisters that hear that BS know it right off, but they got a lot of sisters listening to that satanic foolishness. And in that same vein, there's a lot of sisters running around, those that feel that they are everything in a bag of chips, and they just so fine, they just so this and so that just because of their believed so-called looks, their looks is primarily their investment. And that's more valuable than whatever the guy or potential husband man is, more than what he's bringing to the table. So that man needs to ensure with the monies that he's bringing to that relationship and or marriage that she's supposed to be allowed to just ball out money wise, however she want, whenever she feel like, because of her greater investment, which is being her. You ask a lot of those ladies, yeah, some of them may be fine, but hold on. Is that all? And they look at you like, is that all the man get? Is you? They're like, yeah, there ain't nothing more. There ain't nothing better than this. Look. You know, they have that's satanic. In marital relationships, if the couple gets married, both couples are to equally invest whatever they're investing into that marital relationships. And therefore, both within the relationship should mutually benefit and profit from it. Same thing, and yeah, I'm going to go here with the unwritten contract of producing children. Ladies, y'all going to have to crawl out from under the bus on this one. A lot of ladies running around trick-orating a lot of men. They doing everything they can to find and try to capture or catch a man with some reasonable resources. And if and when they do, they hurry up and try to trick-orate that man into producing a child with them. You say, well, how can you trick somebody? You can't. Y'all know. I ain't gonna go into the full detail of how y'all do us, with the way y'all do us when it's going down. Okay, And the brother's like, okay, if you ain't married, it ain't supposed to be going down anyway. But if it's going down, and the brother's like begging you, please stop. And no, and boom. Now, 9 months later, here comes a baby. Now, mama has something that she knows she can go use the satanic system that's out here to steal, control, and take resources from that guy. Do you see that? And most women today know this before they ever even meet whatever guy they're going to trickerate and into that situation. So it's premeditated. They're like, well, at least I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell him I'm on birth control, but, I'm trying to do what I want to do. Right? That's an unequal and uninformed business contract that's being established in that situation. It's not even agreed to. That's satanic, family. Okay? So, with that being said, a lot of times when you walk around and you, after you've signed one of these satanic contracts, whether you're a professional sports player or you just signed on to become a new employee at a new company, after you've been there and it take you a few weeks to figure out how everything works and, what's really involved with it. A lot of times you find yourself, sitting at your desk or whatever, like, wait a minute. I'm expected to do this, that, and the third for this much money? And then I also got to go do this and that over there? Wait a minute. And, with all of the information that you have, you're looking at yourself going, something ain't right. Even if you can't fully put your finger specifically on the problem, you feel some kind of way. You like, no, I think I got to get out of here. Right? You're like, man, nah, bruh. Because you feel locked in. You feel owned. You feel controlled. You feel like you've been hustled, taken advantage of. You feel like what you agreed to turns out to be a whole lot more than you understood you were agreeing to. You're controlled. You feel owned. That's slavery, y'all. And slavery is satanic. Okay? So real quick on your screen is a brief description of slavery. And it goes as, if I capture you, this is from a slave master's perspective. If I capture you, kidnap you, pay or provide you with only enough to sustain your life, I own you. I own your labor, your skills, your speech, your creativity, and all you produce belongs to me. You can never leave until I say so, according to my direction and profit. You are my property to do, to, and use as I, the slave master, sees fit. If you contend or not obey me in any way, I will destroy you. That's a slave master's perspective. Some of y'all already see it. Let's look at the pro sports owner's perspective. See if there might be any similarities. If you agree to my contract and I acquire you, pay you enough to sustain your life, I own you. Your labor, skills, speech, creativity, and all you produce belongs to me. You can never leave. Isn't that what the little devil that I shared with y'all earlier, isn't that what he was saying he was angry about? You can never leave until I say so, according to my direction and profit. He was literally angry that Kyrie and KD had the power to leave against the owner's will. You are my property to do to and use as I see fit. If you contend or not obey me in any way, I will destroy you. That's professional sports team owners, the U.S. government, corporations, businesses. My point is, family, this slave master or white supremacist mindset, this is what built this country. This is what started it. This is what did the transatlantic slave trade. This is the mindset that did colonization all over the world. Again, this is the same mindset that the enemies of Yah's chosen people have had all this time. Did you catch that? Let's move forward. But what I need you to understand, family, no matter who you are, your body, your time, your labor, skills, speech, creativity, intelligence, and all you produce is your asset, not someone with a slave master's or white supremacist mindset. It's your leverage. And what you have witnessed is Ye and Kyrie and KD, they've all literally shown their slave masters literally what's on your screen right in front of you. They've proven this to them. No, you don't own and control me. I am not your slave. I am not your property. Matter of fact, let me show you. Bye. Do you see that? Okay. So, with that being said, family, hit the like button, smash the like button, share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed. Because you're getting a breakdown that you're not going to hear pretty much any place else on this issue from One Brothas Mind. Because we try to share the information and facts you need. Okay? So, understand, family, no matter what the contract is, whether it's employment, a business contract, you are a professional sports athlete, or marriage, or even, somebody's putting on some baby making music. They're all negotiable. They're all negotiable. And other concept you have to understand is party A in the contract needs party B for not only the contract to be successful, but whatever the contract is going to produce, whatever profit that agreement is going to produce, they need the other party. In theory, women need a man for marriage, in theory, and child production. Businesses need employees and other investors to be successful. Do you see that? So as the other party, all contracts and agreements are negotiable. Always negotiate using your leverage. Okay, family? And lastly, read the fine print. Always read the fine print. And most importantly, family, know your true value. Just like Ye, KD, and Kyrie Irving have shown their slave masters here in the last few months, and with Kyrie and KD just in the last week. Okay? They know and showed their true value to their slave masters. I control me, not you. I don't give a damn about this little contract you got that I agreed to initially. That the environment, the work environment, the business environment, the marriage, whatever it is, has gone bad. You're not respecting not only myself, but the terms of the contract you had me sign. And in regards to marriage, if your spouse is out there running around cheating on you, producing children and having affairs and all this other, that just because you have that covenant contract, you don't have to, the scripture doesn't require you to stay. Know your value. If all kind of craziness like that is going on, if it's abuse, whatever the case may be, know your value and bounce. Never let someone steal and control and own your value. That's it, fam. Just wanted to chop it up with you on this issue because, like I said, most people, definitely mainstream media, and most people out here in the social media streets, they're not going to really get into this aspect of the issue. With how all the media and whatnot, they're still attacking Kyrie and KD, doing their typical stuff, but really go deep into why they're doing it, being that they have a slave master's mindset, and really explore what that really means. Okay? As well as I did, provide other instances and examples other than business contracts. You got marriage, child production, employment. There's a lot of other contracts that this same perspective is rampant within today. So let's chop it up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think on this issue, family. And be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information and facts you need. And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory and being on code is required. But never fear, Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.